please, God, please, can you hear me? Because I'm in trouble. And that's exactly how I was recently. I felt like all the pressures of wanting to know things and not taking it day by day. So I'm Zia Zebra. If you don't know, I create clothing and I also give tips and tricks in like makeup, cheap thrift shopping, beginner store tips, try on hauls, Sims 4, and more. So please stay tuned and hit that subscribe button. Hey babes, what's good? I hope you babes are doing great, which I am doing lovely, y'all. I am, chilling. I feel so good about myself today. I am looking great. I am like in a whole vibe, y'all. But I really just want to say this message about, surrendering to God. Y'all, it could be so hard to just surrender to God and let him deal with everything, because some people like myself, I'm a human being, that just want to, be in control and, want things to immediately go your way. Excuse my bunny, y'all. He stay being busy. Anyways, you want things to go your way and, for example, a guy who doesn't like you, you wish that he would like you, and like you're in all these type of emotions, and you're just upset that things are not going your way. But listen, sis or bro, just that example, maybe it's God protecting you. This is so cliche, but God's rejection is God's protection, okay? He is really just redirecting that person and definitely redirecting you and, having you go on with your life, saying that, even if things didn't end on a bad note, or even if they did, it's just time to move on and move forward to something else. Hold on, y'all. Okay, sorry, y'all. He was getting on my last nerve doing that. Anyways, I can't remember what I was saying. But anyways, I guess redirection, yeah. It is time for you to, go to someone new, or better yet, heal by yourself and really just soak in what really just happened, understand why it happened, and, just get closer to God and understand, why is this happening to me? What's really going on with this redirection and what I need to do. You know what I'm saying? And surrendering to God, y'all, I'm going to just say this. And I'm going to be real honest with y'all. Like, it's been a real issue with me with being in tarot. And I know tarot is abomination to God. It is not what he want his fellow followers to be in, because you will lose yourself in that. Like, you could literally, like myself, I am like admitting, like, I would really get lost in that and try to find comfort in that, instead of depending and letting it go and just depending on God and understanding that he has this in his hands. There's nothing that I can do, y'all. And this is like a whole backstory on something that I need to like speak on my YouTube, y'all. Get into detail about, but this is just surface level right now. Me being in tarot, a big mistake. I got into tarot in 2021, I believe. It was over a guy, okay? And I got led in the wrong direction. But, I recently, not too long ago, y'all, it's been like years I've been in and out of tarot. It'll be times where I just wouldn't be in it for a while. But I am trying my best to let go and repent of that lifestyle and move forward and really find peace, within God, and not wanting to know every detail, everything, because most of them readers, they be lying, okay? Like, lying. Like, straight up lying. Big L. But, yeah, that's just my little, say so on that. But, understanding that, I think it says in the Bible that we shouldn't be worried about the trouble of today. The trouble of tomorrow, or something like that, y'all. If you know the scriptures, y'all, please put it down. Like, I will try to find these and upload them myself, but I be knowing them, but I don't really remember them, which I need to be studying super hard to, know them like the back of my hand. Because, like I said, y'all, Satan knows the Bible more than most Christians know the Bible. You know what I'm saying? And I really just want to surrender to God. And babes, I really would love to see y'all in peace and surrendering to God as well, because worrying about, today, the next day, next month, next year, it's kind of scary. And it's just like, especially when readers try to explain things to you and you're like, it's not adding up now. It's not supposed to, add up now, because you're not even supposed to know. You're not even supposed to know, you know what I'm saying? So it's really best to be in the moment, be present, you know what I'm saying? Be in the moment and just plan your future out in the present moment. Make choices now that will have your future better. You know what I'm saying? Like, can have your future better. And I am slowly understanding that, y'all. I used to be so hard-headed, like very hard-headed, to where I just weren't in my right mind, not trying to listen. But surrendering to God can be a beautiful process, and understanding that repenting is not just saying sorry, this and that. It's actually removing yourself from that situation and, telling God how you feel deep down, even if you have to cry about the situation, and, telling him, God, forgive me. I repent, I repent, I repent. And, never going back to that situation, which a lot of addictions can be hard, and tarot could be one of them. Sex could be one of them. Corn, but you know what I mean, could be one of them. Lust can be one of them. Sleeping around can be one. It could be anything, y'all. Anything, babe. Seriously, like, you just really have to ask for God's guidance. Like, literally be desperate and cry out. You have to, like, be on your knees asking him, like, please, God, please, can you hear me? Because I'm in trouble. And that's exactly how I was recently. I felt like all the pressures of wanting to know things and not taking it day by day. It is so best, to pray for patience and just surrendering in the process, because surrendering can just be a beautiful thing overall. Like, it can be so hard, y'all, when things are not going your way and you really want them to go your way. But you really have to just go within and just pause and just be like, God, what is this? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this about? What am I missing in this storm? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's really going on? It's really just a big question mark. And sometimes you just have to stop and think. Because sometimes when you're in the moment, babes, you are not going to be thinking. You are not going to be in your right mind. And it's just best to, even if you're not feeling it, just speak to God like he a friend. You know what I'm saying? Just speak to him like, yo, this is what's going on. I don't feel good. I don't like this. And that's exactly what I do, okay? But he is, so important to the pinnacle of having peace and surrendering to things. Like, y'all, I can't even explain it, but it is best to let go of things that you cannot control, because, it's easier said than done. But I'm just giving y'all some tips on what I'm trying to do and what's best. You know what I'm saying? Just focus on him more than anything, and just really go deep within and be like, wow, like, what's going on? Really just try to step back and see the bigger picture and not be so selfish and worried about yourself. Because sometimes us as human beings, we can be so selfish. And I've learned that recently, that I could be so selfish. I learned through the years that, I've been super selfish with a lot of things. And, seeing the bigger picture really is just something that, it takes time. So if you get revelation, epiphanies, and understandings, different days, different weeks, fasting and doing all that type of stuff is really going to help as well, y'all. Like, you can really see a clear picture or something that you've been missing, like a small detail that can make the whole big picture come together. And you're like, oh, God, all of a sudden, made me realize this about myself, about this, that other person, like whatever. But yeah, surrendering to God can just be a process. It's not going to be a one day thing. Like, it really just comes together, and it comes together beautifully. But that's the hardest thing that someone can do, is just surrendering to God and letting go and just being with the flow. Because like I said, us as human beings can be so selfish and want things to go our way. But if we just step back, look at the bigger picture and understand something else that we need to realize, and have a different perspective about things as well. It could be a whole different kind of change. But that's really just my message on today, babes. I really hope you enjoyed this vlog, and please make sure you show your girl some love. Press the like button, and leave some comments and how you feel about this and where you are at in your surrendering process and what's exactly going on. But I really told y'all about myself and how some things are going for me, y'all, but I have so much details about so many stories, y'all, that I will be sharing with you, babe, so don't worry. So, yeah, please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Mwah!